The first time I saw her, I was completely unprepared. She appeared almost like a vision, radiant, otherworldly, yet trembling, her vibrant cerulean eyes scanning the horizon until they landed on me. Weeks had passed since our last encounter, yet the memory of her, an alien princess from the distant Andari cluster, haunted me relentlessly. My hands, calloused from years of military duty, itched for action, yet all I could do was stand frozen, witnessing the fragile, human-like vulnerability in her posture. I remember the first weeks after our initial encounter vividly. She had been injured, her vessel critically damaged, and I had been the one to save her. I had been cautious, wary of her species' reputation for cunning and lethal cunning. But what I didn't anticipate was the depth of emotion she carried beneath her regal exterior. She was both a warrior and a child in one, a paradox I could hardly reconcile. Weeks of distance. After her recovery, she had retreated to her private quarters in the Andari embassy on our planet. I respected her space, despite the gnawing feeling of emptiness her absence left behind. Each day, I patrolled the borders of the embassy with the weight of unspoken tension pressing against my chest. Her people, the Andari, were known for their pride and rigid codes of conduct. To have saved a princess, yet been denied contact for weeks, was a silent torment I endured willingly. I attempted to focus on routine, checking communications, maintaining weapons, running drills. But every time the embassy doors opened, I found myself hoping it would be her. She was not merely royalty, she was a storm contained in human form. Every thought of her was a conflict between reason and instinct. The unexpected approach. It was late evening when the moment arrived. The corridors of the embassy were quiet, bathed in the soft luminescence of bioluminescent panels that mimicked the fading light of an alien sunset. I was making my rounds when I noticed movement ahead. Her figure emerged from the shadows. I froze instantly, my training battling my heart's rapid thrum. She walked with tentative steps, hands slightly extended as if unsure of how her presence would be received. Her uniform, pristine and adorned with subtle insignia of her royal rank, contrasted starkly with the vulnerable posture she assumed. And then I saw it, her tears. They streamed freely down her cheeks, shimmering like liquid sapphires under the soft corridor light. I wanted to speak, to console, but no words came. Her tears were a language of their own, a silent confession that spoke louder than any speech could convey. The silent conversation. She stopped just a few feet away. The distance between us was meaningless. The emotional chasm she had traversed over the weeks made the gap feel immense. Finally she spoke, her voice barely above a whisper. I didn't know how to face you, she admitted. Her confession was unexpected. I had assumed, given her rank and upbringing, that pride would dominate her every action. Yet here she was, stripped of pretense, allowing herself to be seen as simply vulnerable. I stepped closer, careful to respect the invisible barrier her tears and hesitation had created. You don't have to explain, I said softly. I understand more than you think. Her gaze met mine. The royal mask she had worn for weeks cracked further, revealing a mixture of relief and lingering fear. I thought that by staying away I could forget the moment. I thought distance would make me stronger, she confessed. I shook my head. It didn't. It just made the waiting unbearable, for both of us. A shared past revealed. She took a hesitant step forward, then another, until we were close enough for the faintest brush of our shoulders to occur. I felt the warmth radiating from her, alien yet comforting, and knew that this was the moment everything would change. I never wanted to hurt anyone, but I didn't know how to navigate my feelings, she admitted, voice quivering. I have responsibilities. My people expect me to be untouchable, untiring. But when I see you, all of that falls away. I listened quietly, letting her words sink in. She was revealing not just her emotions but her fears, her insecurities, the parts of herself that were hidden behind the armor of a princess. I realized that what we shared was not merely attraction but a bond forged through trust and survival. The confession. Her lips trembled as she spoke the words that would change the course of our lives. I've been waiting, hoping, that you would understand me, she whispered. Her cerulean eyes glistened with tears that reflected a galaxy of emotions. I care for you. More than I should. I wanted to tell her that I felt the same, that the weeks of longing and unspoken tension had built up until it could no longer be contained. I wanted to reach out and hold her close, to reassure her that she was safe and cherished. I do, I admitted simply. I care for you too. More than words can say. Her head tilted slightly, a fragile smile forming amidst the tears. She looked at me not as a princess, not as a warrior, but as someone seeking refuge in the only place she could, my presence. The physical connection. Tentatively, she reached out, resting a trembling hand on my chest. The warmth of her touch was electric, sending a shiver down my spine. I took her hand in mine, holding it gently, reverently. For the first time in weeks, the emotional distance between us seemed to evaporate. Her tears continued to fall, but now they carried relief rather than sorrow. She leaned slightly forward, resting her forehead against mine, a gesture intimate and profound, breaking barriers built by protocol, duty, and fear. I never thought I could feel this safe, with anyone, she admitted softly. You've always been safe with me, I replied. I won't let anything happen to you, not now, not ever. Facing the world together. For a long while we stood like that, forehead to forehead, hands intertwined, sharing the silence that spoke volumes. In her eyes, I saw the future we could build, one that didn't bow entirely to the expectations of her royal lineage, yet didn't deny her duties either. I'm scared, she whispered. Scared that my people will never accept this, that they'll see my vulnerability as weakness. Then we'll show them together, I said. They'll see that strength isn't just about power or rank, it's about courage, trust, and connection. Her lips curved into a genuine smile, the kind that reached her eyes and softened the lines of her face. I think I'm ready, she said. Ready to face them, ready to face this, with you. The first step forward. We left the corridor together, hand in hand, our steps synchronized as if the universe had aligned for this singular moment. Every step toward the embassy's central chamber was symbolic. A step toward unity, trust, and the acknowledgement of feelings long denied. Her attendants watched in silent awe, not daring to interrupt, yet sensing the gravity of what had transpired. She walked taller now, not with the rigidity of royalty, but with the confidence that came from being understood and supported. When we entered the main hall, I felt the weight of the past weeks dissolve. The weeks of silence, the tension, the longing, they all culminated in this moment. Her people might not yet fully understand the bond between us, but the foundation had been laid. And it was unshakable. The ending. We reached the balcony overlooking the cityscape of our shared home planet. The twin suns were setting, casting golden and crimson hues across the sky. She turned to me, eyes shining, no longer clouded by uncertainty. Thank you, for waiting, for understanding, she said, her voice steady now. You didn't have to say anything, I replied. You showed me everything with your tears. She laughed softly, a sound that blended relief, joy, and love. Then let's face the galaxy together, she said, gripping my hand firmly. And so we stood there, alien and human, warrior and soldier, princess and protector, united not by duty or obligation, but by the simple, undeniable truth that some bonds transcend words. Her tears had spoken first, but it was our hearts that answered. The galaxy could wait. Tonight we were enough.